morning, fun seekers. Welcome to day 3. Last night was freezing. It's a very, very cold night. Probably got down to, I would have thought, at least 0, if not -1 or -2. But there's no frost about, so maybe it wasn't that cold, but it felt very cold. We were out of the wind, and this is our view at breakfast time on Tuesday. We're just up from the ruins of the castle near Invergarry. We're on the opposite side going northeast back towards Inverness, of course, and had a reasonably good night's sleep. Tents are back here, mine there, Nathan's, and we had a bit of a campfire last night, as I'm sure you'll remember, and a spot of whiskey, which was nice. Should be in Fort Augustus by lunchtime, which is the halfway point for the way. We'll have smashed that in 2.5 days. It's not a race really, but we've done a lot better than we were expecting, so we're maybe 5 or 6 miles in front of where we thought we might have been by this point. But yeah, all in all, good 2.5 days, or 2 days into the trail, and everything's going well. Forecast for an overcast day today, but it's not going to be too cold. Temperature's going to reach around about 11 or 12 degrees, which is good for walking. No rain forecast again for today, and nothing really significant until tomorrow afternoon. I'll catch up with you when we get to Fort Augustus and on the trail as we get there. Here he comes, told lad. I'm waiting for him for a change. To be fair, he stopped to put some different walking clothes on for 20 minutes, so I just carried on ahead. We've covered about 2.5, almost 3 miles already this morning in just over an hour. Nice straight, even path. The disused railway line from Invergarry to the end of Loch, and where the canal just heads on up from here to Inverness. Here he is, weary traveller. Finally!
Try that.
afternoon. We're about halfway through the total walk now. We're in Fort Augustus. and it's just gone 3 o'clock on day 3, so we're in front of schedule. We're going to bang out another 4 or 5 miles and get packed, camped in down the loch side. Just had a pint and some fish and chips for lunch, which is a very, very pleasant change to noodles and flapjack. But there you go, this is where we are, Fort Augustus, right at the bottom end of Loch Ness. Catch up with you in a bit. Hi. So I'd let you know that anybody who's planning on doing the Great Glen Way, when you stop at Fort Augustus and you're carrying on, if you think you want to go further, please be aware you don't want to eat too many fish and chips or have a pint at the local pub, because there's a very, very steep climb. It's only a short climb, but it's really steep as you come out of Fort Augustus. It'll knock you sideways if you're carrying loads of food in your belly. I'm glad I waited an hour before we attempted the walk out. It's a very steep climb out. I tell you what it's similar to. It's very much like climbing out of Bridge of Orkney, but a little bit steeper and about the same kind of distance. So if you've done that on the West Island Way, you know what I'm talking about. But it's absolutely beautiful. You're walking through forest, as you can see all around me, up on the top path. We're going to head towards Invermorriston and see where we can camp on the loch side or up in the forest line, tree line, sorry, sometime between now and sunset. Well, it's about 7.5 miles from where we are now to Invermorriston, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so potentially we'll be there by 7, half 7, but then you've got to worry about where you're going to camp, and around Invermorriston is quite steep and wooded, and we're in tents, not hammocks, so it might be an issue. We might stop just before there, just short of there, and get on a flat spot somewhere. Just to let you know, we said last night it was cold. I nipped into the pharmacy, which is in the Londis at Fort Augustus. If you need any plasters or bandages or antiseptic or anything you need to top up on medical supplies, there's a good pharmacy there. And I needed to buy some kind of like a balm for me. The thumb just split last night, just dried out and split. So I was bleeding like a stuck pig this morning in my sleeping bag, and it's quite sore now, so I got some balm for that. And the lady who served me was asking if we were camping. Lovely lady. She tells me that it was -5 in Fort Augustus last night, and we were about, what, 5-6 miles down on Loch Oig, so we can't have been far behind that kind of temperature. And it was cold last night. She said that they had to really, really scrape the ice off the cars this morning at 6 o'clock. So it was cold. I wasn't fibbing. -5 is cold enough, isn't it? For anybody. And it's April. It's almost summer. I wish. Oh, this is absolutely beautiful. Let me just turn you around and see what you're doing. Oh, I can't fit on there. So this is absolutely beautiful, this bit of forest that we're walking through. We're well up above the road and the loch, walking at a nice steady pace. I don't think there's many people in front of us. We've hardly seen anybody carrying full gear on the trails. A few people doing it bed and breakfast, I'm sure, all with day sacks, taking it nice and steady. I think we may have passed 1 or 2 cyclists going the other way carrying a lot of gear, but I've not seen any other walkers who are potentially camping the way. It's lovely. For those of you who are wondering about places to swing your hammock, don't worry about it. There's a lot of places all the way along Loch Oig and Loch Lochy, no bother at all. Plenty of good camp spots for you, those of you in tents. Just keep walking, you'll find something. Just there are some boggy spots, but there's plenty of water going into the lochs as well if you're filtering. And so far so good. We haven't had any major issues. I've had a problem with my left foot which seems to have dissipated, like a bruise on the toe, on the top of my foot, which was giving me a lot of jip yesterday. Taking some ibuprofen, it's eased off. It came back a little bit this morning again, but I'm putting that down to just having tired feet, and touch wood, it's gone off this afternoon. That might be the pint that's done that. I'll let you know later. But we're making reasonable pace, about 2.5 miles an hour as we go, and we're both carrying packs around about, I think Nathan's carrying 12.5 kilograms with water, and I'm carrying about 13.5 to 14. I ditched some rubbish at Fort Augustus that I'd had to carry because there was nowhere to bin it, so I probably lost about half a kilogram's worth of waste paper and packaging from the meals I brought with me and the biscuits, etc. So yeah, making reasonably good time. Well past halfway now, and we're still only just over halfway through day 3, and we're planning on doing this in 6, so we might even smash it in 5. Depends what we want to do on the last 2 days, because the last big walk is 19 miles to Inverness from, is it Drumnadrochit? So we might split that over 3 days and just take it steady. Just to let you know, if you're travelling in one direction, not the group, when you get to Inverness, if you want to get back to Fort William, the train is £92. It goes to Glasgow and then up to Fort William, or to Stirling, then Glasgow, then Fort William. It takes about 8 hours. The bus, we found prices ranging from £7 to about £16. I think we found one website where it said possibly 24, but the bus is straight through, 2 hours from Inverness to Fort William, and goes about once every hour most days, and around about quarter to the hour is the time. Seems to be between 45 and 55 to the hour, past the hour, sorry, that it goes. And it looks like it's the 919 bus, which makes it easy identifiable. And that goes Inverness back down the Great Glen to Fort William for anything between £7 and £24. I'll update you on that, get you some more information at the end of the walk. But we found a spa in Fort William to park the car with no parking restrictions, so we're hoping when we get back no one's raided the car and it's still in the car park. But just up the hill round the corner outside Fort William there was a spa shop with a nice big car park, so we left it there. Okay, when we get a chance to pitch this evening, I'll update you and let you know what's going on. In the meantime, that's me out.